Yo, my peoples, what's up? Welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. Jason here today of a solo playthrough for R.A.V.E.L. R.A.V.E.L is an acronym. It stands for Rare, Artifact, Vertiginous, Enigmatic, Logical. These words, I'm not really sure what their relationship is. However, I do know that this is a game from Impatient Studios, the people that brought you the Oniverse. So you know you are getting a focused solitaire experience. This one is for one player. It is a puzzle that you try to solve by manipulating dice and meeting conditions on these cards. It's pretty quick. It takes about 5 to 15 minutes to get through a full playthrough. So I'm playing on the easiest mode. There are other modes you can shuffle in. So lots and lots of different ways to vary up the experience. I'm going to show you the basic game and you can determine for yourself if you want to dive in further to R.A.V.E.L. We are the One Stop Co-op Shop, a multi-platform gaming empire and your one stop for solo and cooperative gaming goodness. So after the briefest of rules explanations, I'm going to jump right into this one. Pretty simple. Takes about 10 to 15 minutes to play. Okay, so first things first, here is the center of the game, which is the dice. We have 8 dice, 4 different colors. Give them a random roll and randomly distribute in the middle to start. There are also 16 of these cards. So we are going to make piles of 4 and reveal the top one. The cards represent how we make our way through the game. So each of these cards on the top has some kind of condition that needs to be met along the side with which it's facing in order to satisfy the condition and get the reward. The goal of the game is to get rid of all 16 cards. It's a manipulation game, so each time I want to manipulate something, I have to use a token. And there are 2 ways that I can use my snazzy tokens. First, I can take 1 token and swap 2 dice orthogonally. Or I can take 2 of my action tokens and turn 1 die to any side. That is the limiting condition of the game and the lose condition. If I run out of tokens and I can't manipulate things anymore and there are still cards left, then I lose this one. So let's take a look at some of these conditions. So if there is ever a lack of clarity on what a particular condition is or a reward, the rulebook has a nice verbal explanation of what all of the conditions are. So there should be lots of clarity available for you there. Okay, so this one happens to be pretty simple. 2 dice of the same color. So I actually have that as I have dealt out right now. So I have, as a matter of fact, if I put it here or here, it would have met the condition because there are 2 dice of those colors. However, when I meet a condition, I have to trigger its reward right then and there. I can't save it. So this reward is that I would take all of the cards and then give them a reshuffle and redeal them out, kind of a soft reset of the board. So that is part of the puzzle of the game. Not only do you want to meet the card conditions one at a time, you also want to meet them in such a way that they chain together one into the other. So if you're kind of wasting rewards when they're not needed, you will not do yourself too many favors in terms of getting victory here. So instead, we are going to go for this one. So this one says that I need 3 unequal colors on each side. And if I get that, then I would get 2 more manipulation tokens. You always want those. And there are a number of them in the reserve. So it's not like you'll run out or anything. Anyway, so I'm going to use 1 token and swap these 2 orthogonally, making sure that the values are consistent. And I'm going to take an action and fulfill. So we have that card. That reward is I get that token back plus 1 more. And we reveal the next card immediately, which is all 3 dice have to have the sum of 14 plus, not that close so far. And I get to swap 2 dice as a reward. So let's go ahead and do that one. We are going to take 2 of my tokens and set 1 die to any face. Let's go ahead and jack this one up all the way to 6. I like when I can fulfill a scoring condition with 1 dice manipulation. That's not always possible, but these are limited. Once again, this is the only way to lose the game is to run out of these things. Okay, so I've now met that condition. We are going to trigger this one. And we are going to swap 2 dice from anywhere, keeping the same value on the table. Before we do that, we've revealed the next one, which is 2 equal numbers. So that is, these are a pair, and you notice that a lot of the cards are going to come in pairs. I was going to trade these, the 6, somewhere else, but since that one just popped out, I don't know if I'm going to stick with that plan. Actually, I am going to stick with that plan because looking at how I'm going to plan ahead with the card, and there's a little bit of planning ahead here, I might not have those 2 numbers together anyway. So let's go ahead and swap those 2. That was the reward, and now I can reset. So this card says that I have to have evens over here, and I can rotate the center 90 degrees, counterclockwise or clockwise. Or I can try to fulfill this one, and every dice here needs to be higher than 4. So let's go ahead and spend 1 token, get that over here. I'm going to swap these 2 orthogonal. So I have met this condition, and I've also maintained this condition. Always have to be thinking of multiple cards at once in this game. So let's go ahead and trigger that one. So we have the 4, 5, 6. Reveal the next one, and I can do the reward if I want to. So this is optional. Like I said, you have to choose now, but I don't have to do it. Actually, I'm going to forego that reward because I'm looking at my cards right now. I'm not particularly close. I only have 1 even over here out of 3. I need 3. Well, I need the sum of 2 numbers to equal another number. This is not going to meet that condition at all. It's a little bit of a mess right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trigger this reward. So right here we have 2 of the same, which has been, I've kept those together throughout. Let's go ahead and fulfill that one and reshuffle. I'll be right back. You'll see a whole new set of cards, hopefully. And so voila, I have reshuffled and redealt. I have a whole new puzzle to deal with. At this point, you've gotten a feel for the game, so I'm going to spend the rest of the playthrough going through the rest of the cards. But if you are curious, here are the advanced cards. There is one card that matches, one advanced version that matches the 16 cards in the base game. So making the game harder is as easy as finding the number 1. So this would be the number 1. You'd swap that out for a harder version of the card with a slightly better reward. So if you want a slightly harder game, you shuffle in 1 or 2 cards. Or you can go 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 16. Or if you really want to, this game is pleasing to you, a nice pastime, you can play a mini campaign where it's like you start with 0 and then you go 1, 2, 3, kind of up the ladder. End on 16, see if you can win all 16 games. So that is everything that R.A.V.E.L has to offer. Let's go ahead and jump into the rest of the playthrough. All right, so I see the opportunity for a mini combo chain. Let's go ahead and take advantage. So we're going to spend 1 token, my precious limited tokens, to do 1 orthogonal move. And now I fulfill this condition, which is all dice have to be 3 or below, 1, 2, or 3. They are now. And so let's go ahead and bang, take that one. The game calls it unlock. So we unlock this card. And we get to fulfill that condition. But before we do that, we reveal the next one. A run, basically 1, 2, 3, but they can't be next to each other. And I get those valuable tokens. So this is the last card that offers tokens. So I want to keep that in mind. The reward of the card I just completed says that I can take 1 card and move it to another pile. It does not have to be adjacent, any other pile. But this one's pretty easy. Let's go ahead and move that one right there. Because, I get to reveal more stuff. Look at that. That's nice and close. I think I can work with that. And I get to fulfill this condition. Boom! 2 white dice on the same side. And as a reward, we get to flip one of the dice to its opposite side. Take advantage of when rewards combos directly into other cards. So we're going to go ahead and flip that to a 4. We have a straight 2, 3, 4, and they're not next to each other. It's kind of out of sequence, but the numbers are there. That fulfills this condition. Wham! And we get the last 2 tokens of that are on offer. So this is, okay, so this is the same number. I've seen this card before. You notice that the pile here is almost empty. When you empty a pile, that's it. So you have fewer rewards to have to distribute. So playing this card at the right time would be able to redistribute things so that you have the maximum number of cards available. So I'm going to save that for when I feel the need to strike. So what I was working on was this. So this is all the numbers here have to be odd, and then I can tip at 90 degrees. That'll be so nice to be able to tip that and get in right into that, but I can't right now. Don't have the moves. So let's go ahead and do some economical moves. I think we're going to do one each. We're going to move orthogonally that way, and we're going to move orthogonally that way. That way we have two odds over here, so we're not that far away, and we fulfill this condition, which is the two blacks, and I can pip up either the same dice twice or two different dice one time, pip them up or pip them down. So a little minor manipulation there. And we are down to the bottom of this deck right here. Same reward, only with the blues. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pip two different dice down right there, and chain myself into working on this pile. So now we have odds right there. We are going to take that one and fulfill it. Let's see. We still have a card under here. Oh, look at that. We have the same card, but evens. Now I get to move the thing 90 degrees. Did everybody see what I set myself up for? You know it. All right, chaining right into this card right there. We have 7, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have fulfilled that condition, and we are, I'm actually kind of far from that. Anyway, let's see if we could set this up a little bit. That might not be too possible right now, but let's go ahead and work on some other cards. So we have, I get to move, or I get to swap two that are anywhere. Let's go ahead and swap these two guys right here. And look at that. We have our evens. So let's go ahead and cash that out. We reveal the last card down here, which is the all numbers that are even, probably the hardest one. We are going to tip this right along over here. And look at that. We chain ourselves into this card over here. So we have 5 cards left. So why not? Let's continue the momentum. We have finished a pile of cards. Going to fulfill that condition, and I can pip 1 die up 2, or 2 die up 1, or down. So a little bit of manipulation there. Let's go ahead and pip that 1 up 2. So now we have fulfilled this condition, which is 2 equal numbers, so I can redistribute these cards. Let's go ahead and do that. I am going to shuffle these, and I can place them wherever I want, face down. So I'm kind of guessing a little bit. Going to try to get this one over here so that it's close, but there are no guarantees. All right, so I have reshuffled them. Let's see where they appear. I'm boned on this one. I have a feeling putting these in the middle just really is not going to work out for me too well. I did get that, so I had a 2 and 3 chance of that, so that's okay. And then this one's the sum. Let's see. I'm not really sure. The reward here, by the way, is to take an entire row of dice and re-roll them, which could be nice, but I can't make that work, especially because I'm going towards this one. That's not too great at all. So this is what I'm going to do. Let's go ahead and just go for broke. I have to do something about this anyway. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. So that is 3 moves. That seems really, really, actually I only spent 3 tokens on that. So that seems really, really inefficient, but that is the way it goes. So let's go ahead and just trigger that one. And I get to flip 1 die to its low side. So that is going to be this die. So that does allow me to complete this. 1 plus 1 is 2. So let's go ahead and use that one and take these. Actually, we take these 3 dice and we give them a roll. We are hoping for a 5 or a 6 or something that matches this. So if I get a 5 or a 6 on this roll, then I win, because it would just be 2. So this is pretty exciting. I did get a 6. So I spend my last 2 tokens. I change this 5 to a 6. And that fulfills this condition, and I have won the game. I don't like it that I came down to a random roll, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. I have completed the easiest version of R.A.V.E.L. So next game, I'm going to shuffle in one of these cards. You notice in the basic card, it just has white dice. This one has to be even white dice. Or this has to be odd black dice. And so it has the better or the harder condition to fulfill, but the better reward. Instead of pipping twice, you get to pip 3 times, and then you go on from there. That gives you everything you need to know if you are interested in R.A.V.E.L. Let me go ahead and get into my review of it. It is what it says it is. It is a solo recitable puzzle. I am a Sudoku player, Kukuro player, Futoshiki. There's all these different variations on, really steady puzzles that you could just do a whole bunch of. This one gives me the feeling of having that kind of puzzle, but in a physical form where I can manipulate dice and cards and such. When I first got the game, I put it down and I played and played and played. It's so easy to just reset and explore and, challenge yourself with a different card, etc. If you are not a fan of those type of logic puzzles, then the game doesn't have too much for you. But if this game is in your wheelhouse potentially as a puzzle player, then R.A.V.E.L might be worth a look. Impatient Design Studios, as I said before, can be very much relied upon for satisfying solo experiences. This is not like the games in the Oniverse. They're more, games, active manipulation, etc., where this is more of a moving puzzle. So as long as you know what you're getting into, I think R.A.V.E.L is worth a look. This is Jason with the One Stop Co-op Shop, reminding that we'll see you at the next stop.